Welcome to Fatherhood, where we aim to uplift voices and redefine legacy by highlighting the strength, sacrifice, and stories of Black fathers shaping our communities every day. Today, we're shining a spotlight on fathers whose creativity helps shape culture and inspire generations, from music and theater to the arts and entertainment industries. These men use their talents to tell stories, express emotions, and bring communities together. But behind the stage lights, the studio sessions, and creative spaces, they also carry one of life's most important roles, being a father. Today's conversation explores the intersection of creativity and fatherhood. Joining us today are four incredible fathers making their mark in the arts. We have Devereau Williams, Jamond Bullock, Tate and Tyke T. How y'all doing today?
Yeah, it's a blessing to be here.
How you doing? It is a blessing to be here. Thank y'all for being here. I think this show is going to be very important, talking about the creativity that y'all do in the workspace and different things that y'all do in the arts. I definitely want to hear your journey from where you started, if that's from childhood, from the teenager years, from wherever you started. I think it's important for people to hear what inspires you to get into your work. You can start from Devereau.
All right. Try to keep it short.
No, just
for me,
just be comfortable, be open.
Okay. Started as a youngin.
How young?
3, 4, 5, somewhere up in there. From what my mama tell me.
Okay.
Started, my mama plays piano, my auntie plays piano, my dad played bass.
Okay.
So it started from there.
Okay.
My mama taught me my scales and everything. And basically introduced me to Stevie Wonder, you know what I'm saying? So that's like my top, and it just grew from there. And God blessed me to be able to attach myself to other friends who were doing the same thing, and went to school, Lemoyne, and it just grew from there. I was able to meet other professionals, and man, like God just orchestrated it to I was able to attach myself to people, and it grew, and it was just build from there.
So music was always around, even at a young age for
Absolutely.
you. So it's almost like you were destined to be in the music.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And JS, how you started?
Well, I'm an actor,
Okay.
so I was at U of M, actually be a physical therapist.
Okay.
And it was the last
Different career
semester, right, it was in my last semester of my senior year, and took an acting non-majors class, changed my life. Changed my life, discovered myself, and I was blessed enough to have some remarkable teachers that poured into me and that showed me how to pour in myself.
This is the senior year of college?
Senior year of college.
Dang.
Yeah, senior college. Yeah.
And that, what was the
Right.
class?
It was an acting non-majors.
It
It was an actor's non-majors class.
Wow. And that was enough for me, professor or?
Yes, it was the professor, Robert Barry Fleming.
Okay.
Yes, Robert Barry
Shout
Fleming.
out to, was it Dr. Fleming or is it
Was Robert Barry Fleming.
just Robert Barry Fleming?
Well,
Okay.
he did some doctoring on me, so yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then you got into acting, and then from out, it's just.
Yep, got an actor from there, man. Got trained, been doing a lot of theater and film. I've been doing theater and film in Memphis for maybe past 20 plus years.
Okay. Good. Yeah. All right. Tyke T.
Yeah, man.
I want to hear the journey from. Is it from childhood? Is it from? Has music always been in your life like Devereau, or how did that work out?
It's been around. As you get older, you start like talking to like your elders in your family. They be like, boy, you remind me of such and such and da da da. So like you realize, oh, this has just been in us. Like my grandma and my great aunts, they all were in like gospel groups in Middle Tennessee, going around singing in churches and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And so my uncle, he was a baby Kirk Franklin back in the day, doing that. Like writing songs, like doing that. So like apparently I get a lot of my stage presence from him. So like my mom, she was in choirs back in Smyrna, Tennessee. I'm a transplant. I've been in Memphis for the last 15 plus years, but I'm originally from Smyrna, Tennessee. Okay. And so, and then, as I got older, my brother, he's a DJ. And so what I would do is when he would go to MTSU, because he'd have classes, what I would be in there doing is messing with his equipment, making my own beats, making my own mixes, writing my own songs, and then I try to put everything back like I ain't touching nothing because I don't want to get swung on. I love you. That's my brother. John with no issues.
Shout out to brother.
Shout out to my brother. And so then just fast forward and now like to see like my son picking it up, the music, it's like amazing because I don't know if he's destined for it,
right,
but I do know he getting it right. Like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? His mom, she's on the praise team, so he sees nothing but performance. So it's just something that's been in me, and it's been fun on this ride that I've been doing for the last 20 plus
We're going
years.
to talk more even about the fatherhood piece and how, you know, your kids are inspired about your creativity. But Jamond, tell us about your journey.
Man, I came out the womb with a
Out the
paintbrush.
womb.
Paintbrush in one hand, had a little paint mixer in the other. No, I want to say I was that kid that didn't have art in elementary school, but I was drawing on all of my assignments.
Okay.
And so, like, when I finished my assignment, I draw on the back. Even if I didn't finish my assignment, I'm drawing on the paper. And so, like, to be honest, my brother was like my first art teacher. My older brother, he's like a year ahead of me. And my granddad, on my mom's side, was a commercial artist. So it's like in the bloodline, like for real. And so, you know, it's just one of those things where, like, as I grew into drawing, by the time I got in like 12th grade in high school, I was like, okay, I can draw anything.
Yeah.
I can draw anything.
Yeah.
And my brother, when he graduated, he decided to go major in art. And I was like, oh, I didn't know you can major in art. I get straight A's in this. So for me, I got a scholarship at Lemoyne College, and it was an art scholarship.
Wow.
So, you know, that was my superpower I decided to use, actually.
Let's get to the fatherhood piece. And I want to start with you, JS. Talk about how, you know, you got 3 boys, how they have inspired you to even maybe transition, motivate you, or inspire you to even do more work in your space.
Well, once I knew I was having a son, from that moment that I knew I was having a boy, that has been my driving force in everything I do.
How old are
My
you
oldest son, I got an 18, 14, and a 5-year-old,
Gotcha.
all boys.
Gotcha.
And my oldest son has been my compass since then.
Okay.
You know, he's 18. So, you know, I'd already discovered I had a gift of, you know, of acting and obeying. I've always believed in obeying your craft, right? And respecting your craft. Obeying your gift, respecting your craft, right? So all my boys have dictated every role that I've taken on, you know what I mean? But I'm my father, son, and my grandfather, grandson first, you know? So, and I come from a great line of men, of men. So that has always been my driving force, man, and how am I going to inspire my boys, right? So that's not just taking on any role.
Correct.
You know what I mean? You know, they going to see this.
Yeah.
You know, so that has been my motivating factor for everything, my boys, man. And having pushed them into the arts, let them find it themselves. You know, my 2 oldest boys, after I got divorced, they were like 5 and 1. So the shows that I took on, you know, I didn't take on any shows. I do a lot of theater.
Okay.
So I didn't take on anything that I couldn't have them at rehearsal with me.
That's
so a lot of the
important.
theater community here know my boys because they had to be with me, right? So, but I didn't push it on them. They've grown up in the theater, they've grown up behind the camera or whatnot, but, you know, they have to discover those things themselves.
I think that's important that you add, there's certain shows and certain projects that if you can't bring your sons to it, I don't even want to be a part of it.
Right,
That's huge.
real.
Right,
That's
I
huge.
can't do nothing. My father in heaven, God rest his soul. You know, said no, I can't do nothing on film. He can't look at me and be proud.
That's right.
So,
Devereau, you have 1 girl, right?
Yeah.
1 daughter.
Yeah.
Talk about how, you know, your daughter has inspired you, or things that, you know, your daughter motivates you to do or even not to do. Talk about that space in your fatherhood.
So for
Journey.
me, I probably have the youngest here, a
old is she?
2-year-old.
2-year-old.
She's 2. She'll be 3 in a
You
couple
don't
weeks.
have the youngest here.
Oh.
I got twins. It's 9 months, but
Oh, congratulations.
bless you,
Appreciate
bro.
it.
Bless you, bro. Wow.
appreciate
Okay.
it.
Right, man.
Why take a nap after this?
So for me, with her being, you know, so young, just 2 years,
Yeah.
it pushed me like into super drive mode, where I'm honing in on, even to go back to your earlier question, I didn't know that I could get paid to arrange music for people, or I didn't know I could get paid to be a music director of certain things. So it's like now all of that encompasses into one. So I'm like super driving, pushing it into the, you know, the next thing. And to piggyback off JS, I don't want to necessarily push her into the entertainment industry of music.
Right.
I want to show her the things and the values so she can have that too in her belt, you know, so she can know what's going on. But also she is, you know, with this by osmosis, I guess, you know, she's picking it up. She's
Music
singing,
is all around.
And we actually do this thing. My partners, they get on me all the time if I don't post. We do this thing on social media. I call it Morning Jams with Bella, and it just happened organically because I'm taking her to daycare in the morning, and I just put on some Stevie Wonder or something. And I notice she's clapping and singing, and I'm like, wait a minute. She's singing on pitch, you know what I'm saying? She's clapping on beat. And so I started recording it. And so I started just organically, man, just every day, just start playing random music. Like it could be opera, classical, or whatever. And she respond to it. And I was like, that's cool. And so that motivates me a lot to do. And even if I play some of my music or something, she'll ask, Dad, is it you? I was like, yeah, that's me, baby. Well, turn it up. You know what I'm saying? Like that's you know, that blows my mind.
So we talk about the you know, the nature of your boys and then your daughter, but let's talk about the scheduling. I know y'all on the road. I know you're gone. I mean, I know you have to have a partner that's going to be there to watch over your child when you're not there.
Right.
Ty, tell me about, you know, how, you know, when you go out of town and different things like that, how does it, you know, affect your son, or how does it affect you as a father?
It's something like that I take very seriously, like, because I think being a good dad or being a great father, like people gonna have so many definitions on it, but like the one way that I always try to define it is just being present, and not just being present like in the house, because I could be in the house and not know what he's done all day.
That's a fact.
And so like now, like making sure that I take the time to ensure that I have asked this young man, how was your day? What have you done? What happened at the daycare? You learn a lot what's going on at the daycare if you ask. Little things like that. Be like, dang, for real? Yeah. Well, that's crazy. I might need to check in on that.
Right.
But like, cause but I want to be. Now, shout out to the daycare. It's a family owned. I love y'all too. So, but I really just want to make sure that I'm present with them. But to your question, like a lot of things do come up. So like, you know, I just did the halftime at the Grizzlies game, February the 2nd. It was the start of Black History Month, and it was a huge moment for me because I had been, you know, with the house band for years. Shout out to Gary Goins and everybody. But this was my first time actually being on the floor performing as me, Tyke T, the artist. And one thing I wanted to make sure that Abe was there for was to be a part of it as much as he could, right? So like a lot of the pre-stuff, like the filming at the Forum where we were like getting like promotional videos and stuff, he was a part of it. And like, yeah, it was cool for him to be there in terms of like getting the stuff, but I wanted him to like see this and be around. So to JS's point, I try to do as much as I can that he can come, but not because I want him to pick it up, because I don't care what he do. He might not care about music in 10 years. I don't care. But just be present, right? And so, because it is hard. We all artists. There's going to be times where I'm going to be at a show till 2:30. It just is what it is. Ain't nothing I can do about it. But if I can bring him there, I'm going to make sure he can be there so he can be with me, see it, and not only see it, but like, man, my dad had me, because that's important. Like, I didn't have my dad in my life. And I think that's a big reason why I want to make sure that I'm in his, to ensure that he's locked in. Because like, no matter what, life gonna come, you gonna have these ups and downs, blah, blah, blah. But if he know that his dad got him, that's gonna mean a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because I had two powerful, I know it's a fatherhood show, had two powerful Black women in my life. My dad's mom, my grandma, and my mom, and then my grandma on my mom's mom. Like those women like really, really powerful and like showed me what love is, man. Like money comes and goes, but like those people showed me what it is. And I want to make sure that I instill that in him, like, bro, I got you. So like presence is a really
I love what you said, where I'm trying to do shows where I can bring him to it.
Yeah, same thing like JS, man. Trying, that's my goal. Like I ain't finna pull up, cause you know there's music, there's some music in the city. You know what I'm saying? And I like it too. I be jamming it. But I want to make sure that where we're going, cause you know Abe does his own music, and I don't want him to be picking up stuff that he don't need to pick up. So we try our best to bring him around as much as he can to the stuff. My stuff, Amber's stuff too. Like she's on the praise team, so she got videos where he up there on the praise team bopping and dancing. I'm like, so all right,
he's involved.
He's involved. He's involved. To sum it up,
Jamond, talk about how your son, right?
Yeah,
your son influences your creativity when it comes to your space.
Man, you know, my son. Here's the thing about kids, man. Their imagination is so broad, so they'll ask you questions about things that are inspired, you know, on a different level. Like my son will ask, so Dad, what did God's mom look like? And I'm just like, I've never thought of that. Like, I could do a painting of that, you know what I mean? But it's just one of those things where, like, man, my son, he almost made it to the show today, to be honest. Like,
How old is he?
he's 7. His
okay.
name is Hendrix.
Okay.
And so, you know, I had a guy hit me to do a mural in Atlanta, and we were actually gonna leave Monday, but I guess, you know, the weather's kind of funny. So it's just one of those things where I'm just like, oh, I almost took him with me for spring break to do this mural. But, you know, the last project, he helped me sketch it out. So my son's got the art bug as well. My wife, she's an artist. Okay. So it's one of those things where, like, you know, it's helpful that she is very understanding when I have to work late or go out of town, because, look, she has to go out of town with her art as well. So, but yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, I look at how we get to do this and share these opportunities together, because I curate art shows. Right. And like what Tyke T said, you know, hey, I want my son at the event. You know, I want to be able to say, hey, this is a family-friendly gathering. Right. This is a family-friendly art gallery show. And this is one of those things where, you know, hey, my son here, feel comfortable to bring your kids as well, you know. Try to keep it PG. If you can, you know.
And I think because you say that, your 7-year-old son being there, it allows you to do work to keep it family friendly. Yeah, because, you know, it could definitely go the other route and be an adult space. So
yeah, because it's one of those things where, you know, we're in a city, they calling it the most dangerous city in America.
They call it that.
Yeah, but the thing is, you know, it's all in what you make of it. Right. You know, we got to see the beauty in our own backyard. Yeah. And so, you know, the last show that I curated, my son was on the side with his sketchbook, filling his sketchbook out. And I'm just like, man, this is crazy. Like, we really living this lifestyle right now.
Yeah, you know? That's important. I want to talk about the legacy part of, you know, your creative space and being a father. So when it talks about you know, being in theater, in the music space, being a painter, what legacy do you want to leave for your child, your sons, your daughters? Devereau, talk about that part, about being a father.
For me, honestly, it's putting the phones down, closing the computer, cutting the TV off, and actually sitting there talking to her, being silly, whatever she wants to do, and then actually, you know, teaching her stuff, learning, like just being active with her and not just existing. Like, you know, like what Tyke said, you know, it's being active and being intentional and, you know, reading books or whatever, putting on crazy hats. And I ain't wearing no tutus or nothing like that, but, you know. But, you know, just, man, it's spending that time, because she doesn't understand that the entertainment industry doesn't care about important dates and holidays and stuff. She don't, you know, she just knows that's my daddy. I want my daddy now. You know, so I have, when I'm there, I have to make that work. And I got to give a huge shout out to my wife, Bianca, because when I am away, she makes everything work. No problems, no, you know what I'm saying? It's, man, huge shout out to her.
Yeah, I mean, I think support system is definitely key.
Absolutely.
There's no way you all can do what you're doing without somebody supporting your kids at home.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I mean, from the 3 boys to your daughter to your son to your son. I mean, there has to be somebody when you're on the road and when you're gone that is watching them and then doing the things that you value and that you care for.
True.
That way, when you're gone, you're not missing that piece. Yeah. But JS, talk about, like, I think you wanted to say something.
Well, first of all, father is nothing more important than fatherhood.
Yeah.
Nothing. I think in all we do, you know, and being a father has been the most important thing to me. You know what I mean? That's the greatest gift, I think, man, is being a father. You know, and
it is.
Given my circumstances, God saw fit to give me boys. Right. And as far as legacy, your question, for me, man, my father and grandfather were gentlemen. I think as far as raising boys to be young men, to be gentlemen. Right. I mean, and there's a lot that goes in the word gentleman, be a gentle man, you know, and
say that again. That's important, because I don't think
it's very important. It's very important.
To be a what?
A gentle man.
A gentle man, yeah.
And when you're being a gentle man, you know, you never given nothing, so you damn sure shouldn't be taking nothing either, though, right? You know what I mean? You're supposed to be a gentleman to your fellow brothers. Yeah. women, all those,
Right.
and being a father. I'm supposed to be a father to y'all
Right.
boys, y'all daughters when I see
Right.
them, you
Right.
know. And previously, you know, shout out to my lady Jasmine too. So, and with my 5-year-old, because before there was a period of time that it was just me. You know what I mean? I had to get into producing for our scheduling, right? So I had to get into producing because I couldn't commit to, you know, certain theaters and doing those long rehearsals, 4 or 5 week rehearsals. So I got into that myself. But it was right at that age my boys were little, you know, 5 and 1. So they saw me, they were with me. And like you said, like to be just present. You know what I mean? Like now they're not in the arts. You know, they may find it, you know, later on they may find it 10 years from now. But just leaving a legacy, brother, being a gentleman.
Okay. Tyke T, I want to ask you one question about how does your music and how does it represent when it talks about the culture and the community that we live in? How do you show that in our community in terms of your music and then even just being who you are as a person?
Yeah, I think if you know, like Tyke T, my whole brand is about being driven. Like, you know, because where I came from, everything that I'm getting right now is just like icing on the cake. Like, you know, I don't know if how many people been to Smyrna, but like the goal for a lot of folks,
passed through it a
yeah,
couple
you pass through it to
times.
get to MTSU,
Yeah.
like, and so I could have never envisioned that I would ever get to perform at a Memphis Grizzlies game, because that's not like a thing. You don't do that. Like you try to go get to work at the Nissan plant, and if you can get that, you locked in, brother. So like for this, all this is. So what I try to do in my music is just talk about like never giving up, and like the brand is driven, and that's what I want my son to have, like the persistence. I told my wife I was gonna say stick to itiveness. She told me not to say it. I still said it though. Yeah,
That's a
Don't
word.
say that on TV.
it really is. It really is like,
I'm apologize to your wife for
yeah,
it.
but I really, that's what I want them, because like all of us have said this, and I think it's true. Yeah, like our kids, they just love us. They don't really care about all the other stuff, and I see it so much when it's like when you run upstairs, and it's like, Dad. It don't matter if we got, you know, a Grammy coming tomorrow or a this or that. They just happy to see us. And so in the music, like, cause me and him created an album together. We got Brush Your Teeth and Dry and Clean. These are potty training songs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I want to give back in that way as well. Maybe the next generation of people ain't got to go through poop everywhere. Which is disgusting.
Pass down.
You know what I'm saying?
He can pass.
He can pass that down forever. So like what I try to do in my music is like be who I am. I'm not finna go outside and shoot nobody. That's not me. Like, but what Tyke is somebody who's just never going to give up. And I'm only here on this stage right now talking to y'all because I just didn't quit. And it's a lot easier to quit, man.
That's
I'm
it.
gonna tell you
It
that.
is.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of times I done looked in that mirror like, bro, like really? It'd be a lot easier for you to stop right now. But then how I'm gonna pass that on to my son? He gonna look at a quitter, bro. I can't do that. That's disrespectful. Now he ain't finna listen to me. I wouldn't listen to no quitter. I mean, so like I gotta keep going. You gotta keep going for it. And that's what I hope that I can, like, in my music, through my son's music, and people like I can still in him, like, just never stop going for it. Cause this, like, it's gonna be real Tyler Perry-ish, right? But like I used to watch those plays. Which you say, you gonna either be in a storm, you coming through a storm, or you about to go through one. I might have said that wrong.
Man, that's real.
But the truth of it is, as long as you do not stop, there's a lesson that you're gonna learn from it, and you can pass that on.
Right.
And one more thing you said, I love what you said. Just like back in like community. Sorry, like I do want us to get back to like where you could get fathered by the people in your neighborhood. Like,
That's true.
Cause like in Smyrna, we live in a Colony Square apartment, so it's government housing. But like, them folk on the side had the right to tell me, shut up and get in the house.
That's true.
And that's just what
true.
it was.
I've heard that.
And you don't really get that no more.
I've heard
though.
that, where
And
the whole community and
got
neighborhood
to
is
say
responsible
something to
for.
you.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
And
not just your
no.
parents. It's the whole community.
Everybody, or if it's too late outside and they know we outside too late on that bike,
You
hey,
need to
I'm
go
finna
home.
tell your mama on you,
Yeah.
man. Let me hurry up, get back.
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Cause I don't want no
street light,
problem.
yeah.
Yeah, the street light was the thing. Like, you can see the difference though, and like that when we had that. I hope we can actually get back to those days of it.
Well, it's on us, man. We gotta love each other kids.
And
man.
I
We
love
gotta
how you
love
said
each
that
other kids.
gentleman
I see
part.
y'all kids in
Yeah.
the street, the store with y'all wives, y'all women, man. I'm supposed to be there if y'all not present, regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's important. It's on us. You know, this is
like
what the
that.
show is about, to give the viewers to what fatherhood looks like. So Jamond even talk about how you be successful as a painter and still be present in your child's life. What piece of advice could you give our audience today about what does that look like and how do you make it work?
I think for me it's the involvement of it, of it all. But I think with my son just carrying on, like, okay, it's a challenge because he sees what I'm doing as something that's creative. And so, and he's a creative too, he's an artist too. So he's like, well, Dad, I want to draw on this one too now, you know? But it's just one of those things where, like, I have to let him know the difference between this deadline that I have, which has a lot of pressure on it, versus, okay, I have an open deadline. You can come and work on this. You can work on this, and it's creating a memory.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing that I
can't get those
enjoy.
back.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where he's excited to see what my next project is.
Yeah.
And the beauty of that is like, okay, man, I done created like a best friend, you know. I done created, you know, this unconditional love best friend situation where I'm a superhero. But I think that's the beauty of God creating us as fathers, because it's one of those things where, like, I think about manhood, and I think my son teaches me more about being a man than anything.
Wow.
Man, bro.
Yeah, so it's
That's
like,
really good.
because he's holding me accountable
Yeah.
on all
Yeah.
of these things.
Every day, man.
Today's conversation reminds us that creativity isn't just about performance. It's about purpose. For these fathers, their art is more than expression. It's a way to inspire, uplift, and build a legacy their children can be proud of. To our guests, thank you for sharing your stories and showing us how passion and fatherhood can exist side by side. I'm Chima Onwuka, and this has been Fatherhood, where we uplift voices and redefine legacy. Thank you for joining us.